Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John, and this video is brought to you by Grimworks Productions. That's Grimmworks Productions. Don't know how to spell that. You got spell check. So, this is a should be a one-time only video. And I want to talk to you about a Warhammer 40k army called Chaos Space Marines. Now, this is the codex which has all the rules for the Chaos Space Marines. And this codex has not been updated since the year 2012. We are now 2 months away from 2017, so it's been a while. Now, because of this outdated codex, people have a tendency to stay away from Chaos Space Marines. They just don't want to play them anymore because they feel they're always going to lose. Now, Chaos Space Marines has a lot of variety, has a lot to bring to the table. The only difference between Chaos Space Marines and your vanilla Imperial Fascist Space Marines is that they cost a lot less points because their codexes have been updated. So other than the point value, I think if you bring the right army, you're gonna be smashing vanilla Space Marines in the face. And the first thing that you should probably think about bringing is gonna be Karn the Betrayer. Now, this is my custom Karn the Betrayer model. It's not the GW Karn the Betrayer. It is a GW piece. It's just from Age of Sigmar. So Karn the Betrayer, as you all know, has been known to take down Imperial Knights all by himself. And an HQ for 200 plus points that can do that is pretty much something you should always bring. Now, this is the Warpsmith. He's a pretty nifty little scrapper. I've taken down a few Talbots with him. He's not bad. He does repair your Chaos vehicles, which is something that gets targeted a lot because of their sheer awesome power and their ability to throw around AP3 like it's just candy. This is not a tournament piece, it's just one of my favorites. One of the first things I ever worked on when I first got into Warhammer. That's a Nergal Lord on a Palanquin of Nurgle. The Palanquin of Nurgle is 40 points, and Chaos Space Marines do get a little pricey when it comes to points, but it does provide 2 wounds and an extra attack, and I think that's a 5 wound Lord is a pretty good thing to take no matter what his points. This is a Sorcerer of Tzeentch in Terminator armor. Now, the Tzeentch special rule, as you know, gives you a better invulnerable save, so he has a 2-up armor save and a 4-up invulnerable save. And Chaos Sorcerers are one of the only ones that I know of that can take Warp Charge 3. I know Vanilla Space Marines definitely cannot. They can only go up to 2. So, you give Warp Charge 3 to a Tzeentch Sorcerer or a badass Demon Prince of Nurgle, and you have forces to be reckoned with, especially when you're putting them on the Demon Prince of Nurgle. This is probably going to be one of the most expensive things you take in your army, but it's definitely something that you want to consider taking. He has a 3-up armor save and a 5-up invulnerable save, but because he's Nurgle, whenever he jinks or dives out of the way for cover, he gets a 2-up cover save. And there's not too much that's going to be taking him down, because even the AP2 weapon cannot get past a 2-up cover save because it's cover. So this guy is probably going to be costing you about 300 points more or less to take in your army, once you give him his 3 warp charge points and a black mace, because you gotta take a black mace. But he will definitely make up for it when he starts taking down half of your opponent's army by himself. I've seen him do it. It's possible. The only thing that does suck is he cannot take the Eternal Warrior special rule without the help of a lucky roll on the Biomancy spell table. And that means that a common Sorcerer, or as Space Marines call them, Librarians, can take him down with a force weapon with insta-kill. So be careful who you go after. Now this is a 1000 Sun, and as long as you take a Sorcerer of Tzeentch as an HQ, you're going to be able to take 1000 Suns as your troops choices, and this is maybe one of the most expensive troops choices to take, but it is definitely the best troops choice that you can take in the entirety of Warhammer 40k. This guy, because he's Tzeentch, gets +1 to his 5-up invulnerable save, putting him at a 4-up. which means even if you're hitting him with AP2 and AP3 weapons, he's still going to get a 50-50 chance to survive. His bolt gun has rapid fire, as bolt guns do, but because he's Tzeentch, his bolt gun is even better, and it hits at AP3, which is something that I believe no other Troops Choice has. So he has a pretty good defense and an amazing offense, and he's going to tear up other Marines to bits. He's just going to go right through their armor. This is the Noise Marine. Again, pretty expensive when you take them all fully decked out, but these guys are shooting 3 bullets apiece, and those bullets do ignore cover. So these are the 2 shooty sides to Chaos Space Marines. This right here is the more defensive, or defensive and offensive close combat guys of Chaos Space Marines. The Nergal Plague Marine is known to survive, and survive a lot, because he has a 5-up toughness thanks to Nurgle, and his poisonous blades are going to take down creatures like the Demon Prince on a 4-up, because that's just what they do. They poison you. Even if they're weaker than you, the blade's poison is going to take care of you. This right here is something I've been learning to love. When I first started playing Chaos Space Marines, I saw that there was a lot of Karn out there, a lot of Khorne models, and I wanted to kind of stay away from that to get a little bit more variety on the table. But when you throw 9 of these Berserkers into a Land Raider or a Rhino, 9 because you want the extra room to take Karn with them, you're going to be throwing 40 plus dice at your opponents. And even if you don't have AP3, it's really hard to save your guys by rolling 40 dice. There's going to be a lot of 1s, a lot of 2s, and they're just not going to make it. Now back here, I have the Nergal Biker. Bikes are pretty important to your army. They're going to get onto your opponent's side of the table really fast, moving at 12 inches. But the Nergal Bikers get +1 toughness to their already +1 toughness for being on a bike, making them toughness 6, which means they're really hard to get through. This guy right here is an Obliterator, and he has pretty much every gun known to the Imperium of Man. He can shoot las cannons, multi-meltas, plasma cannons, bolters if he feels like it, though why would he ever feel like it? And he's a pretty awesome piece to take. Pretty much a jack of all trades in the shooting, and even if you try to tie him down by getting him into close combat, he has a power fist, and he just says fuck you. Now this is the only flyer that the Chaos Space Marines can take, but it's the only flyer you would ever want to take. This is the Hell Drake, more lovingly known as the Hell Turkey. This guy has a flamer with AP3 capabilities. Strength 6, AP3, with Torrent, which means you don't even have to start placing the blast marker until 12 inches away from his mouth. So it doesn't matter where you are on the table, you cannot hide from the Hell Turkey. Now this right here, this is the only time that I'm going to be jealous of the Imperium. This is the Hell Brute. This is Chaos answer to the Dreadnought. Now, this is a Marine inside of a demon body that is outfitted with weapons, and for some reason, it does not have a demon save. No 5-up invulnerable save for this guy, whereas the Hell Turkey does have that 5-up invulnerable save. So, the thing that sucks about the Hell Brood is that unlike the Imperium, we cannot drop them onto your side of the table in a drop pod because we do not have drop pods. It's the only bad thing about Chaos Space Marines. No drop pods. So, while he can devastate monoliths and land raiders, he's going to have to do it in a couple of turns when he walks to your side of the table. And this is probably one of the better vehicles out there, in my opinion, when playing with just Space Marines. Because while the Imperial Space Marines have tanks, we have tanks that have Demon Souls in them, which means we get a 5-up invulnerable save for the Demon Special rule. And this guy has a large blast template of Strength 8 AP3, which is a lot better than a lot of other tanks out there. And because he is a demon and not just a vehicle, he does have these power claws, which means when you get him in close combat, he's going to be fighting back. So, yes, Chaos Space Marines cost a lot of points, and all these neat little upgrades cost even more points. But if you're taking the right loadout, you're going to be decimating the Imperial Fascist. Especially when you take allies to help boost your side of the table. Most people will ally demons. I personally love allying demons. For 99 points, you can get a 11-man unit of pink horrors with Warp Charge 2 to add to your already pretty big Warp Charge table with your Warp Charge 3 sorcerers, and you can summon more and more demons from the warp to help fight on your side of the table. And those other demons that you summon might be able to summon more demons as well. Now, I do know a guy in the Red Star Gaming group named Matt who allies his Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines with Cadians, or Astra Militarum, and they have their own Chaos rules. And because he plays with the Chaos Astra Militarum, the Chaos version of the Astra Militarum, he's able to bring a lot of tanks. Just lots and lots and lots of tanks with lots and lots and lots of guns to back up the many sorcerers and warp charge points he already has on the table. It's a really good army to see. So, as long as you plan ahead, if you bring the right toys to play with and the right allies to play them with, there's no reason why you shouldn't be taking on other very good armies. I promise, one day, in 3 to 7 years, we will get an update to this codex. But for right now, it's really not that bad. It's just all around you and how you play it.